Hi, my name's Stewart. I'm a fraud specialist with AARP.
I believe my father is being scammed by a woman he thinks he's in love with.
Why don't you walk me through what's going on?
You suspect your father is being taken advantage of and is trapped in a romance scam he's unable to see.
He won't listen to me. He's shut the family out completely.
Now you must make a complicated choice. Do you take steps to be sure your father is safe? Or do you respect his wishes for privacy and try to fix your relationship? What would you do? Perpetrators today are infinitely more advanced and more diabolical than those of the past. Their scams are designed to steal from even the most cautious among us. Most are masterclasses in deception. They make it challenging not just for the victim, but for those on the periphery who are seeing someone they love being taken advantage of. No matter what stage a fraud is, when it's noticed, it can feel like walking a tightrope between protecting someone and pushing them away. Stewart Abrams is one of our trained Fraud Watch Helpline specialists who's very skilled at navigating these scenarios.
I got involved because my wife was reading one of the AARP publications. She came to me and she said, "Oh, this is something you might be interested in." Prior to retiring, I was an assistant federal public defender for 40 years. I tried well over 200 federal criminal jury trials. We did drug smuggling, airplane hijackings, robberies, guns, drugs. I'm very familiar with various frauds and how some of these schemes work. I've seen what the consequences of those schemes are, how individuals prey on innocent victims to get them to do things that they would not otherwise do. I like to ask for the difficult cases. Sometimes I only get 1 hour and one shot with a person to say to them, "Let me get you off the hook here. This is a scam." The romance scams are very difficult because unlike other scams where someone suffers a financial loss, in the romance scam, it's not only the financial loss, but it's emotional as well. The scammers have developed a relationship with the person who they're talking to. They're getting a text message every day saying, "Hi, honey, how are you? I've been thinking about you, and my day always starts better when I talk to you." And then come the requests for money. And that's generally the time where we may receive a call from someone. The family member calls and says, "My father has been talking to this quote-unquote this woman, and we try to talk to him about it, and Dad says, 'I don't care what you say. I think this is legitimate. I'm not going to talk to you about it anymore.'" In the meantime, Dad has not only sent his entire life savings to this person, which is the upside of $1 million, but Dad then also is in the process of placing a second mortgage on his house in order to send this person additional funds. Dad doesn't want to hear when the family says, "Don't you think if you've been talking to this person for so long and sending money to this person, you would have met them by now?" Some of the victims are very well educated individuals, and intellectually they know that there is something wrong with what's going on, but emotionally they don't want to believe it. So they shut down on their family members. Sometimes we will receive calls from someone who isn't sure whether they're involved in a scam or not. And I will ask, are you on the fence as to whether this is legitimate or not? And the person may say, well, sometimes I think it's legitimate, and sometimes I think it's a scam. Unfortunately, recovering from a romance scam is similar in many ways to recovering from an alcohol or a drug addiction, because until you want to do it, it's not going to happen. I've told family members, try to get Dad to watch videos so he can see that what he is dealing with is something that others have also dealt with, but it turned out to be a scam. I'll also give the family some suggestions of things to say to Dad. Okay, fine. Keep talking to her, but tell her you're not sending her another dime until you have actually sat down and met this person. Because you can tell dad two things are going to happen when you make that suggestion. First thing that's going to happen is there's going to be a request for money. Somehow between the date the meeting is set up and the date that they're supposed to meet, she is going to have the need for at least another $1,500. And she's going to have some reason why she needs it. My car broke down and I can't get there. I have this medical issue which I really need to deal with, and if I can't deal with that medical issue and pay this off, I can't come for lunch. Second thing that's going to happen is sometime before that Friday lunch, she's going to have some excuse why she can't make it and needs to reschedule. When family members are talking to the victims, you don't want to be confrontational because the person being scammed is going to get very defensive. Some of these people being scammed have been worked by the scammer for well over a year. They don't want to hear that it isn't real. The scammer is probably having conversations with several hundred people at the same time. I equate it to what's called longline fishing. And in longline fishing, fishermen will take a line that's approximately a mile long and they'll put a hook about every 2 feet and bait that hook. When they pull that mile line in, there isn't going to be a fish on every hook. But if there are 3 or 4 fish, they've had a good day fishing.
Stu is a model for the kind of voice we hope to be for those who need us. As important as it is to know what to say, it's equally as important to know how to listen without judgment.
The most valuable thing AARP is doing with the Fraud Watch Network is bringing knowledge to people to prevent them being the victims of scams. The consequences of some are more egregious than others, but then again, some people, the loss of $100 through a scam can be worse to them than the loss of hundreds of thousands of dollars to somebody else.
Today's scams are perpetrated by professional criminals, often trained in psychological warfare. Raising awareness around this reality and showing people how to recognize the complexity of these scams helps us avoid victim blaming. We need people to feel empowered to come forward and report when fraud has happened. If you or someone you know has been targeted by fraud, we can help. AARP's Fraud Watch Network is a free resource for all. With AARP as your partner, you'll learn how to proactively spot scams, get guidance from our fraud specialists if you've been targeted, and feel more secure knowing that we advocate at the federal, state, and local levels to protect consumers and enforce the law. You are not alone. Find out more at aarp.org/fraudwatchnetwork or call the AARP Fraud Watch Network helpline at 877-908-3360.